It is always amazing to look for self-made stories of first-generation entrepreneurs, and our delight is doubled by the fact that Alfred Arambhan is an endless serial entrepreneur. As I record this video, he has now come up with a device which is his new startup. It's a medical device, an industry in which he has never had any real job or an experience. So there are lots of things to cover. He's traveled all across the world, done business in many countries. So we'll also talk about innovation and what we can learn from various countries. So let's begin, Alfred Arambhan, with the with innovation. How are you able to achieve innovation at all your ages?
Okay, thank you for posing this question to me. I believe that there is innovation, opportunity and possibility in everything that you do in life. Unfortunately, innovation has become a buzzword only now, recently. And the moment you say innovation, people conjure up images of, breakthrough technology, breakthrough innovations. Usually you attribute it to new product development. I mean, in this case, it's a new product development, but I have innovated all my life. I can give you some startling examples of innovation, which can be in day-to-day relationship, day-to-day approach to sales, approach to marketing, approach to problem solving, human relations, employment. You can innovate in everything that is possible today.
Let's begin with a service sector example. You've been a caterer to the shipping industry worldwide. Any example that you feel illustrates the importance of innovation in your own life?
Okay, I fondly remember one of my chefs. His name was Dondiram Jadhav. I fondly remember him. One day, out at sea, middle of the ocean, we ran out of oil. Don't ask me how, where and what. And it was breakfast time. And we were fearing the worst. But Dondiram managed the breakfast scene. So I later on went and asked him, Bhaiya, Dondiram, how did you manage? He said, simple है sir. सबके कमरे में गया, किसी ना किसी सबके पास में तो कोई ना कुछ तो तेल होता था, या तो सर में डालने के लिए या मसाज करने के लिए, उस तेल से मैंने कर दिया. So that was innovation. But then another example comes to my mind, which is an amazing tool that you can use. All of us are met with the challenge of competitive bidding. You're always faced up with competition. You're faced up how to price. And khas karke in India, mostly the L1, what we call the lowest bidder, gets the job.
Yeah, that's
the norm.
It will be very interesting if there's a story on tendering.
Okay, I have a great example to give you. One of the world's, even today, the largest shipping logistics company is Maersk Line. And they had just moved into a new office building. They had 3 floors of a very swanky building. And obviously, they were looking for a caterer for that. Now, they had a caterer already with them for many, many years. So it was a foregone conclusion that they will continue with that same caterer. Because of loyalty, seemingly there was no complaints against him. We had good relationships. But as would be with any public limited company, they would want to go through a competitive tendering process, which we suspected would be mostly just a formality. Any case, to make a long story short, I don't get involved in tendering, I don't get involved in sales talk, but I have always had the reputation of 100% conversion. If I went for a sales, it would be 100% conversion. Now here we reached a stage where they said, sir, we must get this job. because to get Maersk Line, catering to Maersk Line is like a marquee client. And for want of a better term, it's always not good to tell the client, but you are willing to sometime take on a client even at zero cost, free. Do the job free, because you can then claim that I'm catering to Maersk Line. So with that mindset, I got my executive assistant to get me in a meeting with the managing director of that company, which is a story by itself. Okay? It's not easy. We're a small catering company, not known to anybody, and to get the managing director to come out on an evening for a discussion. I met this managing director, and I could see that she was hard as a nail. So this is how I proposed to her. I said, ma'am, we want your job so badly that we are willing to go really low just to get the job. But if I quote low, you are going to think that, I attach only that much value to my job, which is bad. If I quote high to reflect the true value of what I intend to deliver to you, I may be outpriced. So she said, then what's the solution? I said, here's the solution. I am going to serve you for 6 months free of cost, with no price. Give me an opportunity for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months period, you decide a value, you attach a value to the service that I have given you for 6 months, and that would be the price. Oh, she said, oh, what if I will then give you a very low price? I said, first of all, I think you are a very honorable company. You're not going to do that. You're going to give what you think I deserve. At the same time, she says, but what if that price is not a price that you're willing to work at? I feel that you are worth that. I said, I promise you one thing. I want to be fair. Whatever price you decide you give me, I will continue to serve you for another 6 months. And if it is not workable for me at that price, then I will walk out. Next thing she said, this is the price, Alfred, start your service from tomorrow. So what's the moral of the story? I innovated, and in one shot, without bidding, I got the competition out and I got the job from none other than one of the largest shipping logistics company in the world.
It's a very amazing story, very important, because one of the problems that businesses face, small businesses and all, is they are intimidated by corporate clients for various reasons. So that's a very interesting story of innovation in sales, in tendering process. Alfred, what do you think about innovation in products? Mostly, you see, you've just started this new product, and see, today product is identified with with people in their 20s from IIT Powai or near about that area, coming out with products and telling us that this is how products are created. And personally, I feel that if it is coming from Powai, it's likely it will never be a great product, because innovation always comes from unexpected places. It never comes from those whom you most expect. So I'm just here, I'm thinking that maybe is this the story that we are looking for in India? So can you tell us more about this product, how it came into being and what the product is?
Okay, I'm very happy to talk about this product, but I hope I'm able to also answer at the same time a few myths and paraphrase what you said. I think you missed out the word startup.
Yeah.
When you talk about Powai, people are talking about the startup world, the startup ecosystem. Now, there are a lot of myths attached to the word startup. Now, startup का मतलब क्या है कि do you start your life, you're starting your life, is that your first business or second business or maybe the 30th business? Is there an age restriction? Until recently in my time, everybody would give the example of Colonel Sanders, who started KFC at the age of 60, 70 or something.
65 or something.
Yeah, something. Okay, I'm 68 years old today. And I think there is no barrier, age barrier at least, for being a startup. Because what is a startup as defined correctly and properly is that you have started a new business, you started a new venture, you started something new. So that is the meaning of the word startup. It doesn't mean you have to be young. It doesn't mean that has to be a first business. It doesn't mean it has to be completely different from what you've been doing so far. So that myth, I hope I have been able to dispel. Coming to our device, we decided that we want to be broadly, and I don't want to take up all your time on this, we decided that we want to be in the preventive healthcare, not in cure, preventive healthcare. Now that's a big challenge. The world, surely after COVID, everybody has seen that prevention is better than cure. So in prevention, again, like in any business, you do a market assessment. You find out, like they always say, that you have to find a problem that you can solve. Is there a problem that you want to solve? So India is today the diabetic capital of the world. Okay, so obviously there's a crying need to address diabetes and diabetes related issues. So diabetes alone, you know, affects the entire body, also complicates everything else. As you know, during COVID, if you were diabetic and you got COVID, then you know it made things really, really worse for you. Added to that, as purely as a mission, purely as a business decision, we decided that whatever it is that we will bring in the preventive healthcare space, we will ensure three things. It has to be affordable, it has to be accessible, and it has to be accurate. Now, may I very quickly, briefly define these three terms. Affordable, everybody understands. But you need not be affordable and accessible at the same time, which means I may have a very affordable solution here. But what if
reach out to,
it doesn't reach out?
Bihar,
Maybe in the
UP,
interior of India
to
or
Assam.
Exactly. Yeah. So therefore, for us, not only it was important to be affordable, it had to be accessible and accurate. Meaning, for the price, it काम चल जाना चाहिए. For example, in most cases, if you have a fracture, an X-ray should do fine. But then doctor says, ne X-ray तो कर लिया, थोड़ा एक MRI भी कर देते हैं. So for the price of the X-ray, it's an accurate job. So in the same way, we were looking for whatever we are going to do in the diabetic and diabetic related spaces, we wanted to come up. So this is the world's first, Tarun, this is the world's first affordable, accessible and accurate device. And may I insist that I have had no background in the healthcare space at all. So that is a good example of you should not be afraid to innovate in whatever area you want to go into.
So now, okay, one tip about this, you know, like Amazon, Jeff Bezos proved that you did not have to be a domain expert to be the top in it. One piece of learning that you had while you are developing this device, okay, how do you migrate into a different industry altogether? Anything that helped?
Okay. Our thought process was, and thank you for asking this question, because this is very important for youngsters who get educated years in various fields of, you know, whether it is science or arts, is that you have to decide what area you want to be and what crying need you want to serve society. So in our case, we followed a process which led us to the fact that we needed to solve a problem. And we said that we will use technology to solve the problem, because today technology touches, you know, everyone's life. Then we said that whatever it is we choose, it should have a market, not only today, but for the next 30-40 years. Because very often, especially with technology, it can get obsolete very fast. आज के तारीख में, जैसा for example COVID, threw a lot of opportunities to people to build masks, to build IPE tests. Yeah. But where is the market today? So therefore, we said whatever it is we choose, it should also be there for the next 30-40 years, at least for India. हो सकता है कि बाहर के देशों में भी हो. So we said it has to be for India. And then we said growing market for the next 30-40 years, plus it should be affordable, accessible and accurate. So then we found two areas which are relevant. One is health and the other is agriculture. Because you see, there's a crying need for health in the country. 30-40 years, India is at basic health level, we are struggling.
See, in a way, when we look at it very broadly, it also is like, okay, in a way, it's a stepping stone into the fabulous healthcare industry. As a business, if I see it as a business, initiative. So that's also a very interesting choice, as you've said. Alfred, you're a self-made businessman, and we are sitting in your swanky house, and swanky by by any benchmark. Uh, can you recall any moment where you are down and out, and you crawled back in? Is there a story that like that you would want to relate?
Okay, I can go way back to 1987. In 1987, it was the lowest point in my life. I was virtually on the road. It's a story why and what have you. And I took up an consulting assignment for 2 months at a princely sum of 7,000 rupees a month, just for 2 months. At the end of the 2 months, they asked me to stay on for 18 months for the entire duration of the project. At the end of the 18 months, I ended up representing the company, which was the world's largest dredging company. So that's really an amazing story when you say that even a long journey starts with a single step. So imagine I took up an assignment for just 7,000 rupees a month and ended up after 18 months representing the company. Did a lot of firsts with that company. Along with that, represented many other world's largest. And then that brought me on in 1989 to Reliance Industries Limited. It's an amazing story there.
What did you do in Reliance? It was a force to reckon with. Even in 1989, that was Reliance was Reliance. Any year of Indian private sector. What role was it in Reliance that?
Very quickly, there are three fascinating stories that, if time permits, I can share with you. I can name the project. In 1987, I was involved with this Dutch dredging company with the project known as Nhava Sheva Port Construction Project, which turned out to be now our India's best port, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. End of the project, there was my clients, that means whom I was representing, they had a peculiar problem that Reliance Industries Limited had tendered in the market, in the global market, for the Reliance Petrochemicals complex at Hazira. They had tendered, and Reliance was not even talking to them because they had already issued the letter of intent to the competition. And by the way, over a drink, I heard of this issue. Frankly, I was naive. Okay. So I said, letter of intent issue kya na? They have issued a letter of intent. They have not given them the job yet, right? But he said, letter of intent is a very serious document, which means everything has been fixed, commercial, everything has been fixed. I said, do you mind if I will try to talking to them? They said, try your luck. They are not even picking up our phone. The rest is history. I got the job for Reliance. I got my clients a job for Reliance Petrochemicals Complex. So we did the job. We completed the job. At the end of the job, I ended up representing or being called to stay back and provide the same services for Reliance Industries Limited. Until today, we are their exclusive shipping agent.
Wow. So one line, have you met, when talking about Reliance, we think, have you met Mukesh Ambani any time? Have you met Tina Ambani, Anil Ambani any time, or Dhirubhai Ambani? I'm just curious. As a private sector gossip monger.
Of course, you do meet them. Okay, I've met them both at work level, okay, serious work level, and of course socially even. But
what is the one great quality that you see in Mukesh Ambani?
I think he embodies the great principle that his father, Shri Dhirubhai Ambani, set. I am very enamored by Dhirubhai Ambani himself, wherein there were 2-3 principles that he said, which even today I have implemented, and I see Mukesh Bhai is continuing on that, and of course growing on it. But the basic fundamental principles remain the same. And these were 2 things. One is tremendous faith in people and tremendous capacity to empower people, pick and choose the right people, and then give them a free hand. So I remember the message that had come to me was, get the job done. Don't ever come back to me and worrying about the cost. I will fight with you for the margin, but get the job done. Come back to me and tell me, say, look, I had estimated 10 rupees, but I've spent 15 rupees. I will pay you 15 rupees. But on the margin, I will fight with you. But on cost, never. So I followed that principle with all my vendors. I said, always get the job done. Don't worry about the cost. I'll always pay you the cost. Second and most important thing, which this is amazing in even relevant today for whatever I did, that at one point of time, Jamnagar refinery was the world's largest EPC contract, grassroots refinery ever attempted to build. Do you know the big story? I'm making the big story small. Dhirubhai Ambani had said that from day one, I want my plant to produce. There is no commissioning period. Commissioning, you understand, right? There is a trial period. He told Bechtel that if you are sure of what you are building, then पहले दिन से switch चालू किया, मेरा पैसा चालू होना बनता है. Okay, same way I have used this. All we did was we bought the IP, international IP. From the prototype to this product, we developed here ourselves. And the aim is from day one it should earn money. No trial, no nothing. So those are if you notice all the large projects that has been rolled out by Mukesh Ambani, every one of them is a breakthrough one. How, where, what? It's all making money. It's all profitable. Of course, he has brought about various business models that have been very disruptive in the market. Is the issue.
Alfred, you have given us a lot of food for thought. So one final food for thought I want to carry on is, see, we are living in a world full of international conflicts. There is this Russia-Ukraine war, this Israel-Palestine thing. And in these times, it is necessary to sort of revive our pleasant global memories. So is there any pleasant global memory which you want to share today?
In terms of global, I don't want to use all those cliched sayings that people have been saying. It's a global village now. You don't know where competition is brewing, where you will be hit from where. You're talking about geopolitics. I don't know why this thought is coming to me, but I have fond memories of being invited to have lunch with Kofi Annan, the then Secretary General of the United Nations. And what touched me is, unknown to me, how they are keeping a global watch of what's happening. And I was recognized, in his own words, he said that you were dealing with 3 volatile governments and made a project a success. I opened a river route between India and Bangladesh. So I said, sir, 3 volatile governments. He says, the Indian government, the Bangladeshi government, and the Assam government. Because at that time, Assam was in the throes of, Ulfa, Dulfa, Sulfa, whatever it is. And I felt great that United Nations was formed for that how could they keep an eye so far and, get that recognition. And of course, that led for me to be part of his Global Compact movement, then Women Empowerment Program and what have you. So, I've had an office in Israel for 35 years, done some amazing work. So there again, to think what I have fought and what I have learned is we are fortunate that we are in such a diverse country, right from north, south, east, west. And I have worked in every corner of India. What I have always had to fight and make a success about is whether it is your staff or whether it is the local staff. For example, when I go to Assam, this particular project that I was talking about, they almost treat you like foreigners because you've come from Maharashtra. And then you have to tell them, Bhaiya, हम लोग एक ही देश के लोग हैं. And then I would have to tell my own staff, they say, अरे सर, आसाम जाके प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे, आंध्र प्रदेश जाके करेंगे, केरला में करेंगे. I said, foreigners come here, use us, make successful programs, make huge amount of monies, and we in our own country are afraid to go from Maharashtra to Andhra Pradesh or to Kerala. ये mindset change होना है. That we know all the intricacies. It is just a question of being careful and wanting to learn and assimilate with the local culture and respect the local culture. If the foreigners can come here and use us and make a success, why can't we ourselves be successful in our own country? So there, in my opinion, there has to be a lot of movements. अभी आपने पवाई की बात किया, बैंगलोर का बात नहीं किया, हैदराबाद का बात नहीं किया. I think there has to be intermingling. So I have a program now that I'm talking about setting up micro entrepreneurship in 50,000 locations of the country.
So I think we've had a very good broad brush of topics to think about. So thanks a lot, Alfred, for sparing your time and talking to us. So thanks.
Thank you, Tarun, for the opportunity. Thank you.